Yeah, I did do some videos and everything talking about Vamana Dev and talking about the sunset and things like that. But there's Jiva Goswami's appearance date is today. That is like a very important thing for us. There's so much out there right now about Jiva Goswami, but it just brought to my attention the other day that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in 18, but that's not 18, 14, in 1486. Okay? So now, when he's 24 years old, so that would be 1510. So in 1510, he left and he took sannyas. Okay? Taking that into account, if he took it in 1510 sannyas, then of course he was in Jagannath Puri. Then after that, after taking sannyas, and he made a trip all the way up to Ramakeli. Now Ramakeli is in Bengal, above Navadvip, above it, capital where the person in charge, Hussein Shah, was staying. And he had Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami there also. And they were dedicated to helping him out, like prime minister and treasury and everything like that. From my point of view, because Bengal was the place where coins started to appear. And that was a very big, like, junction where the traders would come all the way from China with all their goods. And of course, they had to pay some taxes to go through. Because for protection, they have to pay taxes. And back then, it was like that. So it was easier to deal with coins than to deal with articles, like bartering. You know, oh, give me this or give me that. No, better some coins. So that's how the money was being paid for by those that were trying to transverse through the borders. And, you know, 5,000 years before, of course, we're talking about 14,000, so, you know. Okay, so about 5,000 years before, Jarasandha, that is where he had his tax collecting place, right around that area. He was more in a Bihar area, but that's up in the north too. So they're not that far from each other. But one was mostly dealing with people going by the Ganga. And this was dealing with people going by what was called and still is, the Grand Trunk Road. Because everybody had these huge trunks that they would put on the elephants or on the camels, and then they would transverse, and they didn't really want to get into a boat with that big animal. They would rather just walk. So it was pretty well set up. The Muslim conquerors, they pretty well made it safe for the people to go all the way to the other side with all their goods. Of course, they had to pay as they were going. They couldn't just transverse through there. So here we are. Mahaprabhu is 24, then he gets sannyas, and then he goes to Puri. I don't know how he did that, but he came up to Ramkeli, above Navadvip, from Jagannath Puri. And now he had already been in Jagannath Puri 5 years. He was going to stay there 24 years and then leave this planet. So already 5 years had gone by or more, because it was 1515 that he finally met. Try to get this. These are the great, you know, these are the manjaris that have come to help Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out. He's gone through all his youth time, 24 years. He has gone through now 5 years more, and they still haven't been able to meet him. You know, that's about 30 years without meeting the person that they took birth to see here on this planet. Right? That's what they did. They came to see him, and they took birth here on this planet. They undergone so many things just so they could meet up with Mahaprabhu. So during that time also, they had made like many letters sending them to Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu already knew them, even if in the spiritual world he didn't know them and everything. Still, he knew them because they were so much anxious to meet him. So he goes up to Ramakeli and he tries to meet with them. I put, because the internet, they're quoting. They had a discussion